I want to say thank you very much for both of you coming on our show today, and I was wondering if you could start off by just telling our listeners a little bit about how you're both involved with the movie.
I'm Naomi Grossman here. I played Janice in the movie, well, spoiler alert, cult leader's wife. Alok?
I'm Alok Mishra. I'm the producer, one of the producers of Apartment 1BR. We call it Apartment 1BR in the UK and Australia, and in the States it's called 1BR. And the reason for that is that you guys don't know what 1BR means. It's a real estate abbreviation meaning one bedroom. But no one had any idea when we came out here for Monster Fest last year, around this time of year, 2019, to premiere in Australia. People were asking us in the audience, they didn't know what it meant, so we decided it would be a good idea maybe to change the name when we came to Australia officially.
Yeah, that's really weird because we actually do use that term. Like, we see it in real estate ads all the time here.
Well, we were told that no one knew what it meant, and in fact, people in the Q&A for Monster Fest were just like, "What does your title mean?" We're like, one bedroom. They're like, "Oh, okay, I get it." You know, it's funny that that's the case though, because like I talked to so many people about that, none of them seem to get it, and our distributor said kind of the same thing. So we were like,
yeah.
All right, let's see what it is. So, at least you know what it is.
The one that throws everybody here is in a real estate ad. We have WC. Does anyone want to have a go at what WC stands for?
Water closet.
Yes, yeah. We get that here, and so many people are like, "What's the WC?" Because we just call them toilets or dunnies. So everyone's always, yeah. So
I've never heard that.
Me either.
Yeah, it's a very Aussie word. I guess bringing it back to the movie, look, what was it about this movie that made you want to be involved with it when you read the script?
Well, it was a great script by writer-director David Marmer, a super smart guy. Met with him and had the same sensibilities, and it was even better than what we got to show on the screen because we had to cut things for budget. It's a very small, no budget film, let's say. It was just the material was great, and David was great, and the other producers that we sort of like wrangled to sort of become a producer posse, some of our experience, some of our first time, including David Marmer's managers, Allard Cansard and Jared Murray, who have a production company called Epicenter. My producing partner, Shane Vorster, and I have a company called Malevolent Films. Shane and I had tested movies for 18 years. We had done market research for film, so we'd done like all the kind of test screenings and trailer testing for all the studios here in Los Angeles, and so we did that for 18 years, and we finally got the time and space to be able to do our first film, and this was it.
Awesome. Well, I guess in a way you're kind of Naomi's boss, so tell us a little bit about what it was about Naomi that made you decide that she was right for the part in the film.
Well, first and foremost, I am Naomi's friend. And I've been her friend. I'm not joking about it. We've been friends for like over 20 years.
Yeah.
So before Naomi was even Groundlings.
You're breaking up a little.
In the Groundlings, or stuff like that, and okay.
Yeah.
Do you hear me now?
Just as you started to give me compliments, it broke up.
I've been Naomi's friend for years, and when she was in the Groundlings, I came to see her in the Groundlings, and when she do her one woman show, and now she's on she's writing her third one woman show actually. I will come see that, right? So we've been friends for years, and I was basically like, listen, I'm making a movie. Here, read the script because I want to know if I should even produce this film. I need your opinion, and she gave me her opinion, said she'd be in the movie, and then I had to make her. I didn't make her audition. I was like, listen, you need to meet the director, make sure it all works out. This is just a formality. And so I, did the audition with her. I was reading against her, a terrible reader. I'm going to tell you that right now. As far as I read things in weird ways. I think I'm always trying to play a late night drunken Trivial Pursuit game with her, and I'm like trying to fuck up the question on purpose. When the Dukabar guy, I'll speed things up. So I fucked her up a little bit, but she still got the part. And so the rest is history in that regard. But that's the thing. We're friends. She got the part because essentially she's an amazing actress, an amazing talent, brought so much to the table as far as like her horror following. She always says, she didn't find horror found her. Because like I said, she was in Groundlings before, but all of a sudden she's this huge superstar on American Horror Story playing, the part of Pepper.
Yeah.
Who's been on like, two different seasons, and then I mean, in addition to that, she's been nominated for an Emmy. She's a brilliant actress, and that's how I got her involved.
Well, awesome. So Naomi, I guess the same question to you. What was it about this script that made you want to be in this movie, and does it make it more difficult when it's a friend's film like it was for you?
No, it doesn't make it more difficult. I mean, I don't feel like I can ask for my rate when it's a friend.
Yeah.
Knowing he's, allegedly having 2 mortgages already paid for a house. The least I can do is like give him a good deal. No, I mean, Alok's not wrong. I always sort of fancy myself a comedian, and so I always imagined I'd be on like SNL one day, and so the fact that I found success doing AHS, like completely different acronym, is kind of odd, but at the same time, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a character actress, and whether the character is like wearing a big wig and high comedy or a shaved head and high drama, it's really just a matter of like dialing that knob, whether it's the tone of whatever you're doing. I mean, the fact is that character Pepper very well could have been on SNL. I mean, I can just see it, like with Toots as the cat, going for a drive. I mean, I can only imagine. In any case, so yeah, I mean, I've always, Alok was a dear friend, and I've always wanted to work with him. And then, yeah, when sort of horror found me, and then he, this was his first producing venture, and he came to me with it. It just seemed like a perfect fit, like you said, given my following, because actually no one knows that I'm funny. No one knows that I actually do that. So,
well, can I tell you one more thing about her though? Like, we shot for 15 days initially, and then we knew we needed to do reshoots, and so we came back, we got the band back together, so to speak. We could only get the actors and the DP, and everyone was so busy with their own stuff, and could only get them back for like 4 days. And it just so happened the 4 days were when it was the week of the Emmys, and Naomi had been nominated for an Emmy, and like I was like, can you come back and do it? And she's like, I'll come back and do your small film, Mishra. I'm not going to go to that gifting suite to get a free trip to Barbados, but I will come back and do your movie. And she did, because she's such a great stand-up lady and a friend, and and I think she knew too, and we said this in other interviews, but she always says her dad's an architect, and we had a really good basically a script, a blueprint. And if the execution could be there, she knew it could be something good, so it was special for her, and that's why she came back and actually helped us out very much for coming back during the week of the Emmys when she was nominated.
Yeah.
No. Still never been to Barbados, though.
None of us are right now. None of us are right now with fucking COVID. I believe that. Can we curse on this or no?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, that's all right.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Naomi, I was going to ask. You said that horror found you. Were you a horror fan before horror found you?
Not really. I mean, I wouldn't say I didn't. It's not that I disliked it at all, but I think I have a whole new appreciation for what a horror fan is. Now having been to a good 100 horror conventions in the world, at least, from Australia to, Amish country. I mean, who knew? I didn't even realize they had television, but the fact is, yeah, I mean, these people are next level. I don't. You can see here, I've got a room with horror art, that's something I have never done. I have never seen a movie and been so inspired that I wanted to draw a character, and yet evidently a good 100 other people have.
Yeah.
For me. So yeah, I'm not that kind of level, horror fan. I would say, like I said, I'm a fan of good work. I'm a fan of characters, and I think honestly, like I said, big characters tend to work in horror just like they do in comedy. I mean, when you look at some of the epic sort of iconic horror characters in history, like Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. I mean, they're kind of over the top when you think about it. I mean, with this like burn face and like razor gloves, like these characters, if depending on how you, like I said, dial that knob, could be hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes they are. In some of their incarnations.
So,
like I said, I think the horror and comedy. I mean, I definitely was always a comedy girl, but they're kind of two sides of the same coin, I think.
Definitely, and this movie has been so well received right around the world. Tell us a little bit about those experiences. This is for both of you. Tell us a little bit about those experiences, being able to go to different festivals around the world for this film.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, Naomi got to go to Fantasia with us, and also.
It was in Montreal.
We went for the world premiere. We flew a lot of the cast out there and stuff, and had a nice premiere party and everything else. And thank God we did, because we never got that because we had COVID and no premiere because we came out April 24th in the States. So that's another whole story. But like in terms of the film festival question you're asking, I went almost everywhere like with the film. Like I went from I had to take the dreadful flight from like Manchester or London, England, all the way to Australia. And that's like the worst flight you can take. I can just tell you this.
Yep.
But I did get to stop over in Bali for a day and a half, just because that's the way it worked out. Not miles ticket wise, it just happened to work out.
That's good.
I just tell that's a true story. I tell my wife that all the time because she's like, "You went to Bali without me," But going to that place, going to Manchester, going to Spain, going to like all these different places we went with it. What was really great was the audiences. The audiences like really got the film, especially horror audiences. And Australia, they definitely got it. They were a little more subdued than I thought they were going to be. I'll be honest. But some of the European audiences were, like definitely like England was and stuff like that. I think they're being respectful of like not wanting to act out and like, I'm crap, do a lot of stuff. But the other places they were crazy for it, like Spain and Madrid and also Girard and the French Alps and like we went literally all over, like Brooklyn, Columbus, Ohio. Like we played about 14 festivals, and thank God because that was really that was the theater experience we got, seeing an audience actually enjoy the film, and it was so rewarding to like sort of like have sweated like we shot the film in 2017 and then premiered like in July of 2019, yeah. Right? So it was like it took a long time to make this movie, and who knows if it's going to disappear and stuff. I mean, sometimes they do, and but we got weirdly lucky because. Well, lucky, I don't think is lucky, but COVID was one of the reasons we did well because people are stuck at home. Studios aren't releasing films. Yeah, you lost your theatrical release, but you do really well on VOD, and really well on VOD to the point that Netflix picks you up, and then Netflix picks you up, and all of a sudden, like you've done enough like sort of like grassroots marketing in terms of doing podcasts or whatever else from basically April to like August. And you are the number one movie on Netflix. You've beaten Jamie Foxx's masterpiece, Project Power, and you've knocked him off. He was almost on there 14 days at number one on Netflix, yeah. And he would have been the number one movie of the year thus far. And Forbes wrote an article. They're like, "Who is this no-name movie that came out of nowhere and defeated Jamie Foxx's movie?" And we're like, "It's us! It's us!" So, yeah, it was funny. We actually, I'm not saying it's run by me, allegedly, but like it's run by maybe many people. We are Legion. And we sent Jamie Foxx a little tweet. We were like, "Hey, Jamie Foxx, sorry I had to beat you, playa. But game recognizes game. Game recognizes game." So anyway,
Did you get a response?
No, unfortunately, no. We would have wished, but... it would have been funny.
I have to ask you, what was it like coming down for Monster Fest? Because Aussie horror fans are very, very unique. That's the only festival I've ever been to in the world where I've heard a director get up to do a Q&A and somebody stood up and said, "I really didn't like your film." And they're brutally honest. So what was it like for you at Monster Fest?
Well, it was really great. Jared and Grant, Jared Yuhan and Grant Hardy, who run that festival, are amazing people. And I became sort of friends with them, actually. Like, Jared came, and when we went to we actually rented a house, and Naomi was there too. We had a house, and Jared came, and we stayed with us at Sundance and stuff. So it was like a real family atmosphere, I'll say that, as far as the film festival staff's concerned. And they're really smart at what they program and so forth. Like, you saw, like, the best of the best films. They really do bring it to you folks in Australia. Like, right now they have this one, what is it, Possessor. It's David Cronenberg's son.
Yep.
This movie that's come out, right? Fucking amazing film, and that's like playing in their road show for Monster Fest. They have really programmed it really well. Now, the fans, going back to your question, the fans are terrific. They're actually super supportive, and they let, like, when you come out of the theater, you do Q&A. When you come out of the theater, they kind of want you to say hi to the fans if you want, and talk to them and take pictures with them or whatever. And there were so many people like lined up, like in this like theater, like this, like it's crazy. It's a great theater, by the way. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a really cool art house theater.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But they were lined up to like talk to you and just like want to get a piece of you and say, "Hey, what did you do?" And I'm like, "I'll talk to you. I'll stay here all night. Like, I'm gonna buy you a beer, because they have a great bar in there too. Yeah. By the way, like terrific beers. Like, I mean, a great selection. I'm a big beer guy usually. No, the fans were amazing. Actually, the fans were very inquisitive. They were very warm and loving and sweet. And like I said, like, I became friends with so many of those people from the festival, and even guys that are just always come to the festival. Like, I buy the festival pass every year. I went out and had, what was it called? The first time I ever had a Parma.
Yes. Parma. Yep.
Yeah, I had a Parma with some of the fans like 2 days later, and some of the festival guys who are friends with them, let's say. But like, I had a Parma with them. It was fucking awesome. Sorry. Yeah, I can curse. Sorry.
Naomi, I have to ask.
Never been to Monster Fest. I was gonna say I've never been to Monster Fest, but I did go down there for Oz Fest.
Oh yeah, yep.
If you've heard of that, yeah, it's like a Comic-Con, pop culture, not necessarily just horror, but pop culture in general. And man, first off, it was in Melbourne at this fabulous convention center. I mean, really world class, and they treated us so well. It was, I couldn't believe it. They said, we're sorry. Normally we'd have time to like take you out and like into the outback or whatever. And they said, so because we don't have time this time, we brought the animals to you. So they actually had like in the sort of green room where we'd go back and take a load off. They had like koalas and alligators and boas, like everything. I was like, what is happening? Like, I'm like on my break, I'm like petting a what is it called? What is it? Somebody ate my baby.
A dingo.
Dingo.
A dingo. I'm like petting a dingo. Anyway, it was a while. Oh, they also had like a massage chair with like a around the clock masseuse, like just waiting if you for your whenever you needed a massage. And they were like, well, you've come all this way, you must be exhausted. And it's like, yeah. But anyway, again, that was just like a special touch. Of all the hundreds of Comic-Cons I've ever attended, I've never gotten that. That was pretty classy.
Yeah.
Red carpet.
It's such a great convention, and you get so close to the people. I had one of the weirdest experiences ever as a journalist there a few years ago, where they actually said to me, just go and wait in this room for a moment before you do the interview. They put me in the room, and Jason Momoa is standing in the room. And we just looked at each other, and he's like, hey, how you going? And it's like, that never happens at any other festival where you just get put in a room with a huge star. So, yeah.
That's how I felt about the koalas. When have I ever been just in a room with a bunch of koalas?
So, Naomi, I have to ask.
I was afraid they were going to give me
we were in No, I was going to say, we almost hit, we were at Sundance this last year, and Naomi, were you in the car with us? We almost hit, Jason Momoa almost got run over by us in our car. Like, he, like, literally, like, he slapped the car and was like, hey, I'm sorry. We're like, and he's like, and he ran away, and we're like, this is crazy. You could never imagine that. Like, we almost killed Jason Momoa. Warner Brothers would have been super pissed at us.
Yeah.
I nearly killed Christian Slater on my block. He was jaywalking, It's like, you gotta wait for the walk sign.
Yeah.
Even if you're Christian Slater. Like, especially if you're Christian Slater. I don't want that blood on my car.
Christian Slater. She, and by the way, she has like a mini car, one of those mini car things.
Yeah.
So I don't think she would have really killed.
Right. No, it would have. Yeah, it would have hurt the car probably more than
it's hot. It's hot pink, and I don't understand how he couldn't see it coming. But anyway, listen, you have further questions for us. I know we've giving you asides.
No, now I'm just wondering how Entertainment Tonight would have broken that story if you'd actually hit Christian Slater. That would have been.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, my question was going to be, Naomi, how nervous do you get when you've got a movie coming out and you're at the premiere like that with fans who can sometimes be brutally honest?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I get totally like a different level of nervousness, like you said, than if I'm, I came from theater, and theater, like anything could happen. Like we've all seen like Noises Off. You know what I mean? Like shit could go wrong. And yet with film, like it's already been shot, it's already been cut, it's done. Like, really nothing could go wrong. It's already done. But because, like I said, I am, like, kind of a performer at heart, I feel like a lack of control, like, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, if it does suck, it's just gonna suck. Like, the ship's going down, and there's nothing I can do about it. Whereas if at least I'm failing on stage, I can somehow, like, improvise my way out of it, or, so, yeah, that it is a little nerve-wracking in that regard. You're kind of at the mercy of, the directors and the editors and, but people who've, like, you kind of just have to trust.
Well, the movie definitely doesn't suck. So I guess to finish up, where can people go out to grab a copy of the film here in Australia? And what would you like to say to all of the Aussie people out there before they get a chance to sit down and watch the film?
Well, I can tell you where it's playing. Like, so, it's on DVD. It's on JB Hi-Fi.
Yep.
Is that I'm saying that right?
Yes.
They have it. And they have it in stock. I've seen pictures of it. Our friend Jared from Monster Fest took some pictures for me of it in the store, so it's there. And then in terms of VOD, it's on iTunes, Amazon, Fetch TV, YouTube. I think I'm forgetting somebody, but if you just Google it, you'd find it really easily. It's on a bunch of digital platforms. Oh, Telesara.
Yep.
Am I saying that right? Like, yeah, it's on them too.
Yep.
So I think it's on the major digital platforms, and then also on DVD. And what was the other part of the question? I think you said something else.
What would you both like to say to all the Aussie horror fans out there before they go and check out the film?
Naomi.
Oh gosh, don't watch the trailer. Just go right on in, totally blind. That's just in our experience, we found that people who are surprised, who have zero expectations, are the ones that are the most sort of delighted by it. It's because it's fun. It's like Alok said, it's a tight 90 minutes. It's it's unlike Reading Rainbow. It's the less you know, the better.
Well, Naomi,
that's
thank you so much for coming on our show today. You've got a legion of fans here in Melbourne, and now I know Alok is going to have a legion of fans after this movie comes out for everybody as well. So thank you so much to both of you for coming on our show today.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Absolutely, a lot of fun. We love the heavy.
Yeah, and hopefully we get to see you both back in Melbourne some stage in the future when we're not in lockdown anymore as well.
We love that. Love nothing more.
Well,
we'll have a Parma.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's amazing.
I don't know what it is. I came home with some Vegemite, which I still can't get through.
It's a lot of cheese and deliciousness going on with like different things. You can make it different ways. There's like 100 different ways. We went to like Mrs. Parma and her 5 something fingers, or I forget what it was called, but like we went over there. But I was gonna say hopefully we're trying to shoot our next movie hopefully in March with COVID and everything like this. And I'll tell you the truth. If Trump won, I really do want to move to Sydney or Melbourne. That was Sydney's more of the comparable city to LA, to be honest, because like you have like the temperate weather, let's call it. The ocean is just still cold and shitty, like that's what it is. But you have like a metropolitan, amazing city. Like I know you guys are different places, but you have a metropolitan, amazing city where you have all the kinds of different foods and some great ethnicity and And so I was like, if things go to hell here, I want to come to Australia, and specifically I want to come to Sydney. But if we can get our next movie shot in March, I think we can get it ready for Monster Fest, actually. So, we've been talking to those guys, and we'll see what happens,
Awesome.
We've got to apply like everybody else.
Awesome. Well, we cannot wait. Like I said, come to Melbourne. We'll make you a Palmer. So, yeah, you're both welcome.
Thank you so much.
They have such good stuff. They have good curries. They have good everything there. They have a lot of fresh ingredients. I'm a big food person, and I really enjoyed the 5-7 days I spent there and stuff. It was a lovely, lovely city and stuff. And
yeah.
I think we cannot wait to be out of lockdown and come to visit people, right? So
Well, thank you so much to both of you. Like I said, hopefully we do get to see you soon. But thank you so much for being on the show today.
Of course. Thanks so much. Cheers.
Awesome. Well, I'll let you both go, but thank you, and see you soon.
Absolutely. Sounds good. I stopped the recording, and I'm going to